Hey there guys, Artistic Nick here, thanks for the click. In today's drawing video, I'm going to be drawing Ken from the Street Fighter series. As always, I start by freehanding my sketching using a Caran D'ache 2H pencil. I look for some rudimentary shapes that I can start getting down on the paper, so I'm looking for triangles, squares, rectangular shapes. From there, I start to fill out the details. Whenever you're freehanding, it's very, very important that you train your eye to look for things that line up with one another. So trying to make sure that if the top of an ear lines up with an eyebrow, that you actually get that right, making sure that the nose or the mouth are lined up in the correct areas. The more you do this, the better your eye becomes at seeing things, and your freehand sketching will become much better. It does take a lot of practice and a lot of patience. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's easy. For the line work, I'm using a fine line permanent marker. It's very important that you let this dry. It's very easy to smudge some of these lines and actually ruin your drawing before you're anywhere near completed with it. For the rest of the drawing, I use Copic markers, and I actually added a comic panel background, which you can see there now. The trick with a comic panel background is to always leave some of the character overhanging, and what this does is it just makes the character look like it's standing out from the background. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, if you're a Street Fighter fan, Ken does have lovely blonde locks. But to try and get some definition in there, I didn't just go in with a blonde Copic marker. I actually started with a very light yellow, and I worked down towards a chamois brown and a dark brown as well. If you look at somebody with brown hair, the hair isn't all the same tone. So the underside of Ken's fringe is darker than the top of it. And I just think that this gives a lovely rounded look to it, and it gives some dimension. For Ken's face, I used a colour called Yellowish Shade. I've actually been using this quite a lot recently. This is my second Street Fighter character. I did Chun-Li a couple of days ago. And I'm just finding the Yellowish Shade is a really good colour for most of the Caucasian Street Fighter characters. So I'm really enjoying that. For the darker areas of Ken's face, I'm actually using a sand colour. For the red of Ken's clothing, I'm using a cardinal red and a cadmium red. The cadmium red is in the lighter areas and the cardinal is in the darkest areas. This again just gives some definition and highlight. For Ken's fist guard or glove, I used a brown for this. To finish the drawing off, I used a Winsor & Newton. I used a violet blue for this. I just wanted a very contrasting colour between the light skin and light hair. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Thank you so much guys for supporting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Find me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Links are all down below in the description. See you next time. Hit subscribe, smack the notifications button, follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.